Denizens Parade is here, aka the new voice of freedom, aka father of the sea and sun, aka king of the core. Before I introduce my very special guest, I want to welcome you all to the Core Creators podcast, where I interview creators across the HoloNet. And today, we have none other than the producer of the Denizens of the Rim Visual Dictionary, 3D shipwright modeler, and a true aviator of the skies, Burgundy 26 of Burgundy Squadron, Con from Corellia Star Cosplay. How are you today, sir?
Man, thanks for having me on the show again. I'm doing really good today. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I think a little bit of colder weather, but that's what I enjoy. But I'm happy to be sitting here across from you. It's been a while since we've talked too. You were telling me it's been like a year and some change.
Yeah. Well, and there was a while there, even after I did your show the last time, where we talked often, like not every day, but weekly at least. And then both of us, really both of us just fell off. We both got busy or not busy. But I'll be honest with you, I fell off the Star Wars train there for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I just had to deal with a lot of real world stuff as it was going on.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's great to be back.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Busy with in real life stuff, but I'm really trying to plug away at the content, especially when like new Star Wars stuff comes out or even special announcements. Because quick plug for myself, we are doing Celebration preparation here on the channel. So if you're planning to go to Star Wars Celebration in 2027, me and Eli are talking about how we prepare, all the news that are coming out, when the tickets come out, because tickets are coming out in roughly 2 weeks. So we're just like, might as well make content and help people out who haven't done so. Yeah, I'm hoping it might be in your purview to show up for Los Angeles in 2027. Cross my fingers.
I have. So I had dinner with some Star Wars friends from Rebel Scum that I met last year, and I did that last Wednesday, and they were like, "You're coming to Celebration, right?" I'm like, "I don't know, maybe." So it's gonna. I'm getting pressure from all over the place. So I think I'm gonna. I hate to say it's gonna be a game time decision because I know like tickets sell very quickly.
Yeah.
As much as I want to say, yeah, absolutely, I'm going. I think the answer is going to be, I'm probably not going to make Celebration.
Well, I say alternatively, maybe just show up in LA on a Saturday night or a Friday night or something and say hi, because I think it's going to be the biggest. I'm assuming it's going to be our biggest group where like Burgundy Squadron is meeting.
Oh, yeah.
And so even if you can't make it to the con, maybe a quick little pop in would be pretty cool, but no pressure.
I would actually, that would probably be more my speed anyway, because here's the thing, like, so I have started to go to Rebel Scum. I went last year.
Yeah.
I'm going this year.
Yeah.
I will probably go next year. I think I'm going to make that like my annual pilgrimage.
Okay.
And it was nice because, lots of people, lots of Star Wars fans, lots of content. But at the end of the day, because as much as I like people, I'm still very much an introvert, and I need to just chill. Right? So I think just like there were too many people. So last year I was working and I was actually sent out to San Diego at the same time as San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
And it was like a last minute thing. Yeah. And thank Mark Von Holland, because I couldn't find a hotel. He was out there for a vendor thing, so he's like, "Oh, you can just crash on my couch. I got a suite." I'm like, "Cool." So I slept on his couch for 2 nights. And that's where I met him for the first time. We had talked and I'd done his show. But I was just like driving by Comic-Con and facetiously saying bunch of nerds, because I am one. I can say that. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like there is just way too many people. Like it cured me of the desire to go to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I'm probably in the minority of, I probably will. I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna go to a Celebration, but I will probably not go to a Celebration. I would much prefer to just like find a hotel or something on the outskirts of LA and say, "Hey, I will make the trip in to hang out with you guys somewhere, and then go back and then come back and hang out with you guys, or we can do something during the day or whatever it is."
Yeah, totally.
That's probably a lot more my speed to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it gets overwhelming at the conventions in general, and that's one of the things I'm trying to when we start doing more of the preparation series is, if you're not familiar with conventions, or if you are, it is a different energy and crowd, but it also could get very crowded and overwhelming because you just can't do everything. I mean, I'm not sure how big Rebel Scum Con is, but I mean, maybe get some insight. How do you like those cons? What is that con about? I mean, apparently you like it enough to go back again, right? So
Well, it, so I didn't think of myself as much of a convention person. I still don't really consider myself one because I've
sure,
had opportunities to go to other ones, right?
yeah,
But I've kind of doubled down on this is the one that I'm going to go to largely because I do the Clone Wars Revisited show every once in a while over
okay,
on VCN.
okay.
And so I
Shout out
become
to him.
friendly with them and they put
Mm-hmm.
on Rebel Scum. So
Oh,
it's nice to
okay.
go and hang with those guys. I have my own friend group now, which again, I had drinks with them last week when they were all in DC. So I made
Wait,
a
you
trip
have
up to
other
DC.
friends? You have other friends? What
I
about? No,
know. I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
sorry,
just-
Queen. Uh, so it, but here's what I like about it, right? So it wasn't overstimulating, and I don't get overstimulated, but
okay.
I can see how somebody could.
Yeah.
Um, and so it was nice to have like the pockets of like two or three people that I could hang out with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I met them all there. So now it becomes more of a social event, right?
Yeah.
It becomes more of just a chance for me to hang out with my friends and nerd out for a weekend, and then go back to real life. Um, and I think a friend of mine is actually going to come this year, outside of the regular group. He's a Star Wars fan, but
Okay.
I think he's going to show up. So I gotta hang out with him too. Um, but I liked it, right? It's small, which is kind of nice, or at least last year it was small. They got John Boyega this year, so who knows how small it's going to
Yeah.
be now,
Yeah. Yeah. I saw
right?
that.
Um, it's I'll kind of tell you this anecdote, right? So it's all in a single hotel. If you get I booked the hotel room before I booked the actual event
Okay.
tickets because I'm like I'm getting a room because I know the rooms are just gonna go.
Yeah.
Um, and so we can all hang out in the hotel. We can hang out at the hotel bar. Everybody kind of likes it. But the cool thing is, I mean, when I showed up last year, my first day there, I'd been there for like 2 hours. I checked in, got my ticket, said hi to Mark, and then I was waiting to go to dinner. And I sat down at the hotel bar, which is where I met my friend group, right? Just so happens I sit next to this guy who lives like an hour north of me in Virginia, and we
Oh, no
started
way.
talking,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, didn't know this guy
Small
before, but
world.
he
Yeah.
ends up sitting there. But when I sit down, I say anybody sitting there, and he says not anymore. So I sit down. He's like, you know who was just sitting there though? I'm like, no, I just walked up. He's like Dennis Lawson of Wedge Antilles fame, and I'm like, really? So I sat in Wedge's seat, and I
Yeah.
thought that was appropriate since I am a pilot.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like, cool, this is the pilot seat. And so I'm like sitting at the bar, I'm talking to my friend Jim, um, my new friend Jim, now old friend Jim.
Yeah.
Uh, and there's another guy sitting at the bar, and I keep looking. I'm like, I recognize this guy. Who is this? Um, he very nice, like joins in the conversation a little bit, pays his tab, leaves. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Maybe I'll see him at the convention tomorrow. No, he plays Mon Mothma's assistant in Andor.
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so like we end up hanging out at the bar, and the talent just hangs out at the bar with us, and I'm just like, this is
Yeah.
cool. And then breakfast, like everybody's there, they say hi, and everybody was so well behaved because I'm always like, well, it's going to be like really uh, tempting to go up and say hi to these people as they're just trying to enjoy their coffee.
Sure.
Nobody did, and I thought that was great. I
Yeah.
mean, Sam Witwer and David W. Collins were there, and they were having breakfast in the same atrium we were, and nobody was bothering them. So I thought that was great.
Nice.
And so I think that really sets the tenor of the event, right?
Yeah.
Because it's small, but it's respectful,
Right.
right? Um, it's not the kind of thing where the celebrity or the talent feels like they have to separate themselves because there's a bunch of us weirdos, right?
Yeah.
And I use the term endearing. I'm one of them. But
Yeah, that's all of us.
um, yeah, that's all of us. If you're listening to this podcast,
Yeah.
present company
Yeah,
included.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, no, they all felt like, oh, they were just here to celebrate this thing that we all love together. Of course, I'm going to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Um, so it was really, I like it for that reason, and I'm
Sure.
hoping that it maintains that this coming year because I mean, they got heavy hitters. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, John Boyega is coming. When I saw that announcement, I hadn't bought my tickets yet. The first thing I did was buy my ticket because
Yeah.
I'm like, tickets are going now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This
He doesn't
convention
show
has
up at many
arrived.
Star Wars conventions anymore, so
No, and I would like to know like who they had to bribe to get him. But
yeah.
honestly, I think that it was probably he just heard through the grapevine that this is a great little convention to go to, and he's like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, yeah, I'll go. And it's probably for all the reasons I just said. But they got
Yeah.
like Kyle Solar and Denise Goff. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. Um, to do it, and that's a panel that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's the Cyril and Deidre mix. Yeah, they got the right mix of people. They had Katie Sackhoff last year. I don't know if she's coming back this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
yeah, it's a good time. So that I think is why I gravitated to it. Of course, now I have to go back because I have friends that are like, "Well, you have to come back so we can
Yeah.
hang out."
Yeah, yeah.
And and so there's going to be a nice Burgundy contingent there this year. I think you've seen in the
Yeah.
group the Burgundy group chat, right? Like
Yeah.
so many so that Billy had to create a separate group just for us.
Yeah.
And you're not in that group for some reason
I'm
for
not
raid.
because I'm not planning to travel anytime this year.
I think that yeah, that's fair. I'm really not looking forward to the flying out to Texas, but
Yeah.
it's it's going to be worth it for the couple of days. Um,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that
so
sounds awesome.
there's my plug. They have a great little rave at on the first night, which I'll probably go to, but I'm not going to stay as late as I did last year.
Oh
So
yeah. I didn't take you as
yeah,
a rave goer.
no, I'm not. Uh, it
Just
was
a
more
fist
just
bumping away.
yeah, right. I was, yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, going back to like, it's the thing I'm really looking forward to this year is not the celebrities. It's actually like meeting Billy for the
Yeah.
first time in real life, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's meeting these people that we know, I think fairly well, or we think we know fairly well.
Yeah.
But I've never actually talked to them face to face, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I'm actually more excited about that this year with Rebel Scum.
Yeah, that's one of the crazy things about like going to talking about our internet friends. We pretty much talk to them every day or at least once a week, or even like me and yourself, we do this podcast and we're friends, and like but just seeing a person in person is completely different. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like we've been friends for this and now we're finally face to face. Like even my interaction with Billy the first time, it felt like normal. Like we're cool, like we're actually real people, and generally everyone's very nice. So I always try to make sure to go to when there's a contingent of Burgundy around. Like I'll try my best to go, especially if it's like close by, like with D and his Cantina crossover. Not only are we
Oh, die.
meeting,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're meeting each other in person, but then what usually translates to the people who show up want to know what Burgundy's about and then eventually joins. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like that actually worked out because you were there. You're awesome. And we've got a couple of people from doing those little photo shoots. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. And going back to the conventions, I am really, my last few celebration experiences have been awesome. And my favorite moments are just hanging out with Burgundy and taking photos with them. It's not even like meeting the celebrities or the panels or anything. Like we spent a whole afternoon. It was me, Aiden, and Chris Kirsu, and ASW cosplay. We just spent a whole afternoon just taking photos. And that was like worth going all the way across to Japan for, just like missing half of the afternoon of Star Wars Celebration, because that's what it's about, is actually just meeting your Star Wars friends, and hanging out. So
Oh yeah.
selfishly, it's a great like just pinpoint for people to come in proximity to each other versus just like, oh hey, let's hang out for a weekend. It's a little bit harder of an ask because now there's actual like intrinsic value to the traveling, to
Right,
meet
because
up.
I
So
mean, you can just kind of go to the convention if you want to, and there's a built-in like activity sheet, which is
correct.
always a good thing to have when you're meeting people, because sometimes you just want to go and do something else.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, even kind of macrocosmically, right? Even my friend group here, which is not my Star Wars friend group, they're just my regular friend group. I
Sure.
mean, sometimes we just have to like center social time around events, right? And
Yeah.
because that's just how it has to work. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I forgot you went to Japan until you mentioned it.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
was last year. It went by
yeah.
super fast. But yeah, I want to go back really bad. I don't know if Celebration will get back there, but it was a really great convention. We still have just been liking so hard. We still need to have a podcast about that experience. But another event that I'm also missing out on, not only just Rebels Scum Con, is the big trip to Detroit Space Dive, and I think that's happening
Oh yeah.
soon. And I'm like, I know a lot of Burgundy's going to be at that, but I made my decisions when I internationally travel outside of Star Wars that I can't afford to do the national meetups. But there'll be more, and I'm looking forward to Celebration to see everybody. But
Yeah, and Space Dive looks awesome, and I had made a
yeah,
commitment to this year, and I'm not going
Ah,
because for a lot of reasons. But
sure.
yeah, my big travel is just going to be Rebel Scum and
Yeah.
call it a year.
Do you have cosplays planned for that one?
And that's a good question. So the answer is I have enough to have to make choices.
Okay, yeah, then that's positive.
Yeah, so because I brought four last year because I was gonna play it by ear, and I only ended up wearing two
Okay.
because second, I went out on the town and got way too drunk and just kind of didn't feel like it the next day. Um, so yeah, so last year I did Ezra and I did Han Solo,
Nice.
and I think that was it. I brought my Denizen, but I didn't wear him. This year with Burgundy, I think I have to bring the Denizen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was hooked up with an X-wing jumpsuit by Denuovo from thanks again, Mark. Uh, I think I have to wear an X-wing pilot. It's not like 501st, but
Sure.
it's pretty close,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, so I think I have to bring that one. And then I'm like, do I want to bring a third day, or do I just want to do civilian clothes one day? Do I want to change halfway through one day? Like, what do I want to do? And if I do, it's between Ezra and Han Solo. Uh,
Well, like
I'm not.
like isn't Han Solo pretty comfortable? Like I feel like that's a
Console is very comfortable.
it feels pretty close to normal, like
Yeah,
easy for a day, especially if you're tired or
yeah,
hungover.
it's super easy. Honestly, the hard part are the boots,
Oh, okay.
because I don't have insoles for them, which I can fix that problem,
Yeah.
right? That's an easy problem to fix.
Yeah.
Ezra is a lot more involved, and if I'm
Mm.
gonna do Ezra, I'm gonna have to do a wig or hair dye or something in order to not be like myself.
You don't
Right.
have to.
I mean, yeah, but otherwise I'm just like a 40-year-old cosplaying a
Just-
teenager. I gotta.
well, you also don't want to look like a 60-year-old cosplaying a teenager. I've seen that as well. I've seen that as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I know it's cosplay. It's supposed to be fun. Nobody cares, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. I mean, if I'm gonna go that far, I want to go that far.
Sure.
So, I want to at least make an effort.
Hmm.
So I don't know. And despite my Ezra shrine over here, I'm not feeling quite as connected to that right now as I
Okay.
was last year. So
Yeah.
I might just leave him home. Um, and we'll see though. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of things can change in August. So yeah, I'm planning on doing. I'm definitely doing at least the Denizen Day because I feel like, kind of to your point, like the Burgundies that are there, we've got to all meet up and take a picture,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
That's got to happen.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I owe Mark the X-wing,
Yeah.
so I think I have to do that. By the way, quick aside,
Yeah.
their X-wing jumpsuit, and it's the same for their TIE fighter because they use the same pattern,
Mm.
is like phenomenal because firstly the fabric is breathable. Secondly, I can
Ooh.
like zip it all the way up and sit down in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember you doing your video, and I was watching you
Yeah,
like do a review. If you haven't checked it, check it out in Corellia's Instagram.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's like it's really good. I mean, it's a bit on the expensive side, of course, but it's definitely worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
you can only get it in the three colors. But no, I do like it. I mean, when I put it on in everything together, it just looks right.
Yeah.
So,
It looks
yeah.
sick.
So going back to like the comfort issue, the X-wing will probably be as comfortable as Han Solo. It might
Oh
be
no way.
slightly hotter just
Okay.
because I got some more
Yeah.
stuff, but
August in
yeah,
Texas too.
yeah, August in Texas. But the convention place does a really good job of having
Like the AC cranked.
the air conditioning just cranked up,
Love
right?
that. Yeah.
And there were times where I was actually cold.
Oh no way.
Um, yeah,
Positive
so it
problem.
was positive problem,
Mm-hmm.
especially with all of those humans in close proximity to each other.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing was, I'm thinking back, like, who did I see last year and what did I see? I didn't see a lot of like X-wing pilots or pilots in general, right? There were five or six or seven Han Solos walking around of various eras.
Sure.
I'm trying to think, who else? That was pretty much it.
Do you get bothered by wearing a similar cosplay someone else is wearing?
No, not
Okay.
really. I just I also like to be original if I can.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I took a really funny picture with a Han Solo last year. He was Force Awakens Han Solo with the lightsaber through him, and I was a New Hope Han Solo. And
Nice.
so we staged something where I remember I just gave him like an "Oh my God" kind of kind of picture. So no, of
Yeah.
course, look. So I actually had a similar conversation with Dre because Dre helped me with the Celestial Fire movie.
Yeah.
Right, he and I talk several times a day because he and I are very deep into like how do you make spaceship visual effects work.
You guys are doing an
And
awesome job too.
oh yeah, Dre's fantastic.
Yeah.
I told him the other day he's doing something, and I was like, dude, you're gonna think this is from like the Mandalorian movie. I think it's that high caliber. And he's like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, I think it is.
It's
You
really
know,
good.
it's if it's not there, and it may not be there, it's like one standard deviation below, right?
Mhm.
It's pretty gosh darn close. Because the model he was using, the models he was using were really good. But yeah, anyway, so I was talking to him because so as a thank you, his youngest son saw my ship, the Celestial Fire ship, and was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"I like that ship. Can I get that ship?" And he told me about it, and he's like, "No, buddy, you can't have it." I'm like, "Well, hold on a second." So we have yet another 3D printer in my house, which can do full color, and
Can I
so we needed
before
an
you
experimental.
continue? Can I tell the story of the clip you sent me?
Oh, of course, yeah, go go
You
go.
had more 3D printers in your home than like I think I have like any collectible in my house. It was just like wall to wall, shelf to shelf, and I'm like, that is a lot of 3D printers. I'm sure it's being used for work and whatnot, but I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. But it's funny to hear you guys got another one.
Well, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, my husband has an obsession with 3D printers. Um, no, no shade, no shame. We get a lot. I can pretty much have anything I want.
Yeah, yeah.
However, we built an entire house just to have the 3D printer. And I'm not kidding. So for those of you on the audio only channel, I'm sitting in a brand new office space that I constructed, which is above the 3D printers.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so I had to fight to keep the entirety of the space too because CJ was like, "Well, you're only going to use like half this space. I could use
No
the other half." I'm
way,
like, "No, no,
no
no, no.
way. That's awesome.
Firstly, I'm paying for this
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
Secondly, you get all of downstairs,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you get everything." And actually, he has more square footage than I do, so no
yeah,
complaining.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, so going back, so his
Yeah, sorry.
Dre's kid is like,
Joyce's son,
"Hey,
yeah.
can I have a copy, or can I have a model of this?" And he's like, "No, buddy." I'm like, "Well, hold on," because we had a full color 3D printer, and so I gave the model to CJ. I said, "Hey, can you print two of these? I have one."
Oh, sick.
Because of course I'm not going to just print a full color model and not
And
keep
now I
one,
have
right?
one, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it only takes like an extra hour, and it was a 3-day print, so it's like
Sick.
fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I shipped one off to him and his kid got it. And his kid drew a picture of it. He's like, "This is my ship. This is my ship." And I'm like, and he keeps telling me about it, and he's like, "I hope you're okay with that." I'm like, here's the thing. So I love the Millennium Falcon, right? Like, if somebody asked me, "What do you want to fly?" Anything, the Millennium Falcon is number one on the list,
Mm-hmm.
bar none. I feel a sense of ownership over the Millennium Falcon,
Yeah.
but it is not mine, and I'm very much aware of that, right? So it's kind of the same thing. Like when I'm walking around a convention, I'm in like a Han Solo costume or whatever it is. I, I love this character, but it's not my character, right? I
Yeah.
have no ownership of it. It is our character. Like the Millennium Falcon is our spaceship. Um, so it's actually kind of cool though to see like the differences because nobody has the same version. Even if we're all doing A New Hope Han or whatever it is, everybody is just slightly different,
Yeah.
right? And there's nothing to say like mine is better or than somebody else's, right?
Right.
It's just a little different interpretation. I mean, my favorite one outside of my own last year was Richie Fusco from oh what is their Instagram? He and his now fiance do short Star Wars skits, and they're always hilarious. Um, and I'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like his was really good too. And he's got the hair to go along with it. I don't. So I mean, he pulls it off in a way that was really good. But like every Han Solo was great. You
Yeah.
know, there was no such thing as a bad Han Solo. I mean, everybody who walked around last year was awesome. And yeah, you were talking about ASM. Her Fennec Shand, man, like it is second to none. I got to see her briefly last year, meet her briefly.
Nice.
And yeah, her Fennec is amazing. I'm also a sucker for Fennec Shand though. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Anyway, that's a really long-winded answer to
No.
your do you feel possessive of the character walking around, or does it bother you when somebody else is doing it? No, of course. Look, if I feel possessive of cosplaying a character walking around on the convention circuit, then there's probably something wrong with me,
Sure, sure, sure.
right?
I
You
was
know?
saying like more of like not necessarily possessive, but does it feel weird when you're like, oh, we're both dressed alike? Because I try to
Oh, yeah.
actively avoid that for myself. Even like if I buy a shirt, I don't want to see someone else in the same shirt. Like that's kind
Oh,
of like
really?
where, yeah, because I'm like, oh, now, well, I guess it's like a complex. Like, well, no, I'm not special. I'm not unique. So, like that's like for me. But I don't really cosplay any like, well, specifically Star Wars. I don't have any face characters, but in other genres I try to do something someone else hasn't done.
Right.
And that's just like my
We should.
personal preference. I don't think there's anything wrong
Well, you
with
need
it.
to do Baze Malbus. I mean,
That actually, that's true. There's not many bases out there,
no, there's
and
not, and he's got a cool getup. So let's be honest, that would be a cool one to do.
yeah, and I feel like I'm one of the better bases, but my suit doesn't fit anymore. I've put a shed
Oh,
some weight, so the thing is just like all
well,
baggy. Positive
that's a good
problem.
problem to have. I think his suit is baggy anyway, so it might be
It
worth.
is. It is.
Yeah,
But
it might be
the
worth the try on just to see.
Yeah, no, I tried to use the costume for just like making up another character, and I was gonna have like kind of hang
Yeah,
low, like kind of like a mech style, and I was swimming in it. It was like,
you
it
were
was
swimming in it.
like yeah. So I might have
Nice.
to just buy another one in a smaller size because I mean I could still I still got the dad bod to do a base, but the suit is just like extra. I feel like it could fit two of me in there at this point. But yeah,
Well,
it's pretty
good
crazy.
for you for losing that much weight,
Thanks,
right?
man. I
So
appreciate it.
congratulations. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Still got a
yeah.
long ways to go. Still got a long ways to go. Um, so you mentioned Dre and you mentioned Celestial Fire. Let's talk about that. So I want to first of all, I want to say thank you for including me. I love doing. I'm still trying to dip my toe into voice acting like we've done in the past, and I appreciate you actually having that pool available to dip my toe into because if it wasn't for you, I don't think I'd be doing it. And you're great about like sending me like little stuff to like audition for, and I just haven't got around to it. It's just still in the back burner of something I want to do. But again, thank you for having me on there. And I think those every time we do them, I try to show like my friends and family who aren't really into. They love Star Wars, but they're not like into content outside of it, and they always like enjoy the videos that you put together. And so yes, you guys are doing a great job. But yeah, let's talk about it. Tell me any behind the scenes things, the trials and tribulations. I want to pick your brain about all this stuff because I only really see like the part that I do and then the end product. Like so that's just my involvement. I'm not taking any other what do you call credit for the work that you and Dre are
Oh,
doing over there. So it's been
yeah,
great.
but let's give her credit where credit is due because again, um having drinks with my Star Wars friends last week, I asked them like, hey, I know you guys watched it. Like, seriously, what did you think? Right? Because
Yeah.
look, I always kind of going back to my career as a pilot. I've been doing aviation for my entire adult life. One of the things that we always talk about is the debrief, right? That's
Mm,
where you learn the most. So I was being serious. I'm like, okay, like I know you're my friends. I know you're gonna tell me it's great, but you know, no holds barred. What did you think? And they were
yeah.
like, it was fantastic. We loved it. And they said, you know who our favorite character was? It was AV8. It was the droid, and that's your character.
That's my character.
And this is becoming a recurring theme. They're like, "Oh my God, he's so cute. He's adorable. I will protect him at all costs." So,
I
I
love that.
didn't do a lot in terms of the creation of that character. I basically just had I had a 30-second rendering of his movements, and I just like interspliced them
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make them work with your audio.
yeah.
So there's no acting with that character. Everything that comes out of that character, every piece of magic is your voice,
Oh, thank you.
is a testament to your voice. So the fact that people are saying, "Oh, he's great. I love him," hurts the ego, but it's well deserved on your end.
Well, it's like
Um,
we parented the character because like you have to do the visuals and then I have to tie it with the voice. And so yeah, I'm not going to take complete ownership of it. And you wrote the lines too, so I'm not.
I did, yeah, okay. I wrote the lines,
You
but
wrote the lines.
I'll be honest with you, a lot. So, kind of looking back on it, I watched it several hundred times in the process of making it. Not in terms of vanity, but just in
Yeah.
terms of like making it to make sure that I caught everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it again maybe like a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
because I hadn't seen it in a while, and I was like, let me watch this again. Um, I could have done a little bit better, I think, on the second half.
Sure.
Because there's no point of view for AV8, the droid character. It's all basically the Agents Rick, my character. Um, but kind of going behind the scenes a little bit. So you and I and a bunch of the Burgundies helped. You guys did me a favor about a year prior, so January of 2025, where I had these scripts available, and you guys were very patient. You read 3 of them for me, and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I did have fun. Kate's performance as Guri still lives rent free in my head. But I kind of like throughout 2025, excuse me. We were doing stuff, and then something got triggered at the end of 2025 where I think it was Dre. All credit to Dre, where we were doing the little side project we call Flint Flight, which is like a squadron of 4 A-wings, and I played the A-wing, the lead. And I did a voice, and then he was like, "Hey, wouldn't it be great if we could do some like live action stuff in a cockpit?" I'm like, "Yeah, we should do that." So I bought a green screen.
Nice.
And played with that for a minute, and we kind of looked at each other through Instagram chat, and we were like, he said, we could do that first episode. And I was like, oh, yeah, we could, couldn't we? And, the first episode, though, it led into a second episode, led into a third episode, right? And so I was like, okay, we can definitely do like the first half of this episode as it is. I'm going to change some dialogue, of course, because I'm looking back on it, especially Taylor, I'm not happy with certain ones. But, it's mostly just a slight punch up and we're good. But I had to completely rewrite the second half because I had to take out so to spoil it, what was supposed to happen, if you've seen the video as it exists right now, Ajax and AV8 are ambushed by Imperial forces. Ajax snaps a little bit at AV8, says, "Hey, can you maybe hit something?" They decide, okay, that's too much. We're going to jump away. I'm not going to be a hero today is basically the idea. In the original draft, we cut to a commercial break just as they're about to lose everything. And when we come back, the rebel ships that they're supposed to be rendezvousing with arrive. They drive the Imperials off, and then there's a conversation about, "Hey, thanks for helping us out. You should join us." "No, I don't want to," etc., etc. Good scene. I've reread it recently. I'm like, that is actually a pretty good scene. But I can't do that because I don't have anybody to play the rebel dude and any of these things. So I'm like, all right, it's really just got to be me and the droid. What does that look like? So of course we're just going to jump away. We're going to get out of there. And so the dialogue that I wrote, I wish that I had been a little bit more of a point of view from AV8s when I wrote it, because what ends up happening is I had to create the scene in the edit really quickly, because we go from we jump away, we're in the ship, and I say, "What the hell kind of hornet's nest did we just kick?"
Yeah.
And in the original script, AV8, it completely ignores that and just says, "Hey, you seem frustrated. You should probably go drink some coffee." And when I edited it together, I'm like, that came out of freaking nowhere. So I basically created a scene where he gets really annoyed with his other droid, and I felt like that was a little bit better. But what I should have done is had that scene, and then AV8 should have come in and said, "Hey, you need to calm,
Yeah.
you need to calm down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I understand where you're at, but don't take it out on us." Is what I should have done.
Like check him a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, check him a little bit, and I think that would have deepened their relationship a little bit.
Yeah.
But from a behind the scenes standpoint, I was just trying to get a second act that kind of hit the plot beats that I wanted it to, which is to say, hey, what happened was they were ambushed by the Imperials. We know that. It was because of the Battle of Hoth. We know that, right? I wanted to establish that it was the rebels that he was trying to hook up with, so that's why you have the call from one of the rebels characters, and then also establish that he's working for Black Sun and be cagey about it. Which, if you know, it's one of those, like, if you watch the video, it's a visual thing where at the end it's like he's like, "Hey, let's get back to our regular employer. They're not going to be happy with us."
Yeah.
And then he jumps out, and it's the Black Sun Skyhook from Shadows of the Empire, because I'm a big
okay.
right, yeah. So
yeah.
it's like,
Nice.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I pulled out all of the EUs. And I've had this conversation with Dre too. Like, I like to play kind of on the line of Disney canon and EU
Sure, yeah, that's
canon,
fun.
right? Where if there's a piece of like EU canon that I like that does not contradict and can, in my opinion, coexist with Disney canon, then I just kind of go for it. And then this was one of the ones where I did. So now the challenge though is trying to keep all of them consistent. But
Yeah.
One of the cool things though, and Drake can talk about this more, but I got to shout him out a lot because firstly, he's a really good story guy. So if I have a story problem, he can help me out with it.
Yeah.
Secondly, he did all of the space visual effects on it.
Yeah, it's great.
So if you watch it, yeah, if you watch it, he did them all. Every single outside spaceship shot is his. And this was one of those ones I had animatics from a couple of years ago, so I just sent him those, and he stayed fairly faithful to the original animatic. But what he did, which I thought was really cool, was what did he do? He so backing up a little bit. So he's on the Skyforge Discord. I am too, but I don't go over there very much. But he's on the Skyforge Discord, and Skyforge released a camera where it's actually a motion control camera that you can use in Blender. So it's digital motion control.
Nice.
And what is really cool about it is you're effectively just doing what they did back in the 70s, 80s, and even early 90s when it comes to being able to do ship shots. So it instills into you that discipline of what the ships can do, right? And so for I think it's every shot. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but he basically matted in layer upon layer upon layer using this Vista Cruiser add-on to make the ships look like they actually would have, or endeavoring to make it look like what they would have if we had shot this in like 1980.
Oh, that's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was our touchstone. So we always talk about it like we're trying to make something that visually matches the style and tone of Empire Strikes Back. Not A New Hope, not Return of the Jedi, specifically Empire Strikes Back. And we're trying to hit that. And so this was a big experiment for him to really get into the Vista Cruiser, which is the camera system that he's using, digital camera system that he's using, and to be able to try to match up what those shots would be. So when I say like he stayed faithful to the animatic, I wasn't doing anything of that when I built the animatic. I was just like, oh, ship flies over here.
Yeah.
Cool thing.
Yeah.
But he's like, okay, well, how do I make that happen in the Vista Cruisers? And he did it, and he did a really good job with it. I mean, when I put the first half of the sequence together, even with my temp dialogue as AV8, I was just like, oh, this is so cool. Like this is awesome. So, just go watch it alone for his visuals because I feel like it's really good.
Yeah.
And of course he's doing even better now. We're working on a follow-up, which is actually going to be a prequel because the story that we did now, I'm trying to I really want to build it to the point where I can do like the full up story that you and I read last year, right? I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to get like the full cast. I want to be able to get to do stuff. And in order for us to do that, we have to get a lot better at this.
Yeah.
So we're going to put the reps and the sets in. The problem is I can't tell a follow-up story because the timeline's not going to work. So I have to tell like 4 stories.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah, we're working on a before story right now. And I've got the script. I think the script probably needs a little bit of work. It's a lot better script though. Because I use the point of view rule. Like, what are my character's point of view when I'm writing these things now?
Yeah.
So, a little bit better. AV, it's a little bit less of a plot device, I think. He's actually got a heroic moment. So once I get the script, I'll send it to you because we're gonna have to get some more dialogue. But the shots that he's turning out, are like just beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking about, people are going to think this is from Mandalorian. Some of these shots are like, people are going to think it's from the Mandalorian movie. They're going to be like, I don't remember that one. I don't recognize any of that, but I don't remember that from the movie. Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
And he's doing just amazing work trying to get it. He told me he was going to be extra because what his sort of like deal with me is like, I'm not doing animatics on this one. this is entirely his show to do.
Yeah.
And the deal and the agreement is like he gets to play with his camera system as much as he wants to be able to make the shot as good as he wants to make it.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's really trying to push the boundaries of what he can do with this. The problem is every shot is just like so good.
Why is that a problem?
Because now I have to raise my acting up to meet the level of the shots.
Yeah. Because you don't want to,
right?
You don't want your part to be the weaker part of with his
work.
Yeah. So great.
It's like, and look, I'm an okay on a good day if the moon is right and I had my coffee actor. Right? I was not trained as an actor. I'm trying to figure it out. I was actually pretty happy with my performance in the movie we just did. But yeah, it was. I got to raise the bar. And then the other side of it too is, well, I had to do all the green screen shots, and I was pretty happy with the green screen shots in the first one. But I really feel like we can do better now. And this is again going back to like we got to get the reps and the sets in order to do a follow up.
Yeah.
Do a really true follow up based on one of the scripts or both of the scripts that we read last year. And I know I can do better, but again, we learned a lot doing the first one. In the first one, it was very simple. Like if I can shoot myself and make it look and feel like I'm sitting in the cockpit, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I think we accomplished that. Trick is how we have to make it better.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the things that I noticed, and one of the things I gotta like, there are maybe one or two that are left in the actual film that we released because I just didn't have a chance to go back and redo it. You can see like a piece of my head or something disappears into the bulkhead or something.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And it's like it's very quick. I mean, I only noticed it because I watched it 300 times before.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I'm not paying attention to anything other than the minutest of minute details.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think anybody else has noticed. But if you go, I think you can find one or two
like
moments
a frame
where
or two of it, like
yeah,
okay,
like my chair or maybe the back of my head just disappears for quarter second and then it's back. And so that's really just dialing in the green screen settings and making sure that we have a good setup. But then there's also the digital background because I built a digital cockpit set. Because if you look at it, it's not a Millennium Falcon cockpit. It's reminiscent, but it's not. I actually built it in 3D. Well, in the last couple of months, I've been playing with how to texturize and add realism to textures. 3D things. So we got to play with that a little bit and see if we can make it look a little bit better. So this is really the intention is the original intention was okay. Now I want to go from being able to just sit in the cockpit and make it believable to I want to be able to like walk through a corridor set and make it believable. I'm actually going to dial that back a little bit. I'm going to say, hey, I wanted to see if I can make it so that when I'm sitting in the cockpit set, it doesn't feel quite so out of place.
Yeah.
And just kind of like really double down on getting the cockpit thing. Because then when I wrote the story, I'm like, well, there's no real like reason for me to leave the cockpit.
Yeah.
Right. Anything I do is just going to be contrived. So I'm gonna change the expectation and say how much better can we do the green screen cockpit on this particular one?
Yeah.
And just kind of go from there.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome because like you have the first episode and then you're like looking at it like how can we make the next one better, and then eventually once the next one comes out it's like how can we make that one better, and then that's like kind of how you improve your skills with anything cosplay. Like you'll build the whole thing out, like you'll build the base out, and then eventually you're like, oh, that didn't work, or this didn't work last year, and then you just kind of like iterate on that. And I think that's part of the process, and it's cool that to hear you guys talk about how you even want to do these upgrades. And it does, like the way you're conveying it, it feels like a passion project because you're not getting money for these things. And I think besides monetizing it in the future, but like it's like really cool because even just with the conversation online about how people are just doing AI and just doing prompts and just not doing anything hands-on, and we're like that those skills are being lost, especially when it comes to movies and entertainment. And it's really awesome that you guys are not doing that and building it.
Well, yeah, I mean, kind of along those points though. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, you're good.
But after or just before I released the first of hopefully many of these things, Um, I did actually look at a lot of other fan films, and some of them out there are just so far and away. It was actually not good for my mental health. I'm like, these are just so much better than mine. But I did come across many that were all AI generated, and it actually made me a little mad because I'm like, look, I just spent 6 years writing a script. I've spent a year and a half with Dre working on how do spaceships move in space. I've spent 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks now, just playing with green screen before I did anything else, right? Which is not a lot of time, but it's enough, right? Like
Yeah.
I've spent time doing this. Like you just put in a prompt.
Yeah.
You know, like this is actually like a thing that I actually had to like go out and learn skills how to make.
Yeah.
And there are arguments about, how it's enabling more access to arts. I don't really buy any of them. But because I kind of come back to this idea of like the creativity is a process argument, and the process to get to that episode was nothing short of joyful, you know,
Yeah.
um, because you have to start with a blank page, and then you have to write the story, and then you have to say, well, how can I accomplish the story? And I mean, the entire reason I'm here is because I wrote that story in 2020 as a COVID thing, and now it's out in the world and people can see it.
Yeah.
But it's just like you start biting off, so you write the story like I'm gonna come hell or high water, I'm gonna figure out how to make this made. So how do I do that? And it's just like you start eating the elephant one bite at a time.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, well, let's build the character's costume. That's how I got into the Burgundy Squadron, right? I built the character's costume. And it was fine. It's gone through a couple of iterations, but it's mostly the same. For the new one, I'm building a new version of Agents, which is going to be reminiscent but different. It's kind of like a halfway. So you see him in this one. He's got the cool armor and he's got the cool getup, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be a little less cool in this one.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually gonna play around with wearing a wig on this one because I have canonically decided that when he starts off working with Black Sun, he has longer hair, and I want moppy 70s hair.
Yeah.
But I can't grow it out, so I'm gonna try to make. I have the wig. I have to like just probably exist in it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like just wear it and break it in.
Yeah.
I haven't worn a lot of wigs, so we're gonna see how this goes.
I wear that one for Baze, and it's different. It's different.
I tried one for Ezra, and I was just like, yeah, I don't like this. This is actually worse than me just like spraying my hair black.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, kind of going back to like the eating of the elephant, right? So you build the costume,
Yeah.
you iterate on the costume a little bit, then you're like, oh, this is cool, I like this, and then built the ship in 3D, built it again in 3D, built it again in 3D, because you kind of figure out how to do it and make it better. And we're still using my third model that I built, which I did in Google SketchUp, and I don't use SketchUp anymore. It's not the world's greatest model. I just keep like adding stuff to it in AutoCAD to make it workable.
Yeah.
And it's doing probably about as good of a job as we can right now.
Sure.
It can stand up to scrutiny with some of the better models, but only because Dre has gone in and done a lot of retexturing on it.
Yeah.
So again, shout out to him, but I had to go in for the Celestial Fire movie, and I had to add a lot of details, kind of just 3D details to it because we had some close-ups. So it's basically the same model there. Okay, cool. So now I learned how to do that. So now how do I make the spaceship move? And so then I learned how to do Blender a little bit. And then I inspired Dre. I don't mind saying I inspired Dre because that's the truth. And then he started doing it. And he just blew past me in like 3 weeks. But and as much as I get competitive with some of these things, I try not to because Dre has a background in film and I don't. So
right.
He had a background that he could just draw upon to say, hey, I understand lighting, I understand blocking, I understand cameras, I understand lenses, I understand these things. And I'm like, yeah, I don't understand any of that. Just go forth and prosper, sir. I'm just gonna do the best that I can and go from there.
For sure.
I think, but what it really did though was it gave both of us that common frame of reference. So we both were familiar enough with Blender that we could talk intelligently to each other about it. And then I have the real world knowledge of just how airplanes work in space, and so I'm able to say, hey, it should look more like this or like this. And even on the Flint project and a couple of others of his other projects, I've actually pulled out my airplane briefing sticks, and I've been like, it should be a little bit more like this,
Yeah.
and just make it try to look a little bit more like it should.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
hope that's helpful. He's never told me it's not, so I'm gonna go if it's helpful.
I think it's helpful.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, just the many year process now of getting from this idea of, hey, I want to make this, to it actually existing. Yeah, watching the people who used an artificial intelligence prompt to make a movie, regardless of the fact that it looks exactly like Billy D. Williams up there, and the script is okay. I mean, it's actually in some cases pretty good, but it sort of makes me a little bit mad that you can just put it into a prompt.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's shortcuts for everything in life. It really. I was just talking to somebody today, and it's like life's always going to throw roadblocks, and it's how we navigate those roadblocks is what actually makes the journey and worth it, the story, right? So it's like, yeah, and I'm sure there's still work when you do these, like when these people do AI videos and stuff like that, because it has to be cohesive, but at the same time, it's a shortcut instead of just like, oh, let me learn how to texture a ship, build a ship in a 3D model, how to write a script. Like there's actual skills involved there, and everything. Even like we were talking about earlier, weight loss. There's a lot of shortcuts you can do, but I'm preferring not to do those shortcuts and, and do it the way
help you in the long term.
Yeah, because there's a lot of risk. Taking certain medicines and things like that to lose weight. But yeah, now I'm just watching what I'm eating less and exercising and seeing where that goes, because that's going to be my journey when I get to where I want, and then talk about it then. So, but yeah,
there you go. Well, I mean, good for you for doing that, though. Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, we kind of going along with that, though. I mean, in the military, we said the obstacle is the way, right? It's not the obstacle is something to be avoided. Sometimes the obstacle is actually the way to do it, right? So you don't get to avoid the wall; you have to climb over the wall. And what is, I think, really interesting is it unlocks something. So I want to go back to the statement I made. Am I happy with my script? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my script. It was my first attempt, right?
Yeah.
Could it have been better? Yeah, I've already explained how it could be better.
Yeah.
But having to rewrite the entire back half ended up teaching me something about script writing, right? Which I don't think I would have learned if I had been able to just shoot it as it was, right? And so that to me is an incredibly important and valuable thing, because you don't know what you're going to learn when you come up to the obstacle and you have to go through it. And in my case, I've already kind of laid it out. What did I have to learn in order to get this thing made? I had to learn how to build a costume. I had to learn how to build a 3D model. I had to learn how to, which I've done a lot now. I've had to learn how to write a script. I've had to learn how to revise the script. I've had to learn how to throw the script away and start over again. I've had to learn how 3D VFX are done, and I've had to learn green screen, and I've had to learn editing, and oh, by the way, sound design too, which is really hard. And so I'm not going to say that I'm an expert on these things by any stretch of anybody's imagination. I'm barely an enthusiastic amateur, but the kind of biting off one element at a time and taking on the obstacle is, like I said, nothing short of joyful. So if you go through and you do it that way, and you learn that, it feels really good at the end of the day.
Yeah. For sure. I think people miss out on that self-fulfillment. And everyone's feeling like really empty, but I'm like, because you guys aren't creating anything. there's a thing about consuming so much. Like, why don't you try to produce something? Take a photo to learn how to edit that, make a costume. Just a quick aside, like I started doing leather working. I made this little piece here. I didn't watch any YouTube videos or anything. I was just like, well, I'll just buy some leather and some tools and figure it out. And I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, there's going to be improvement, and it's not completely done, but it functions the way I wanted it to function from my imagination. I didn't even have a sketch. I was just like, oh, these shapes look cool. It's like, yeah, I'm going to use that to hold one of my blasters for one of my costumes. I don't even have any ideas for it.
But, you had thrown that in the Burgundy chat. I've completely forgotten about it, but yeah, that is fire, dude.
Yeah. And it's just like cheap, clearance bin leather that they had at the leather store. but yeah, I was just like, I want to hold it for like a blaster that I wanted to make for the longest. So, and this is not done either. So I have some other creative, like smaller projects that I'm working on. But yeah, just one thing I want to just tell everybody: create something, because you don't know what it'll take you, or if it's not your thing, then you just go to something else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're gonna learn what kind of is your thing and what isn't your thing, right?
Yeah.
When you sit down and creation is an act, it's a process, it's hard, it's intended to be hard.
Correct.
But then, I mean, shoot, dude, like that looks awesome, right?
Yeah.
You could take a step back and be like, yeah, that was really cool, that was really fun. Or maybe, it wasn't fun in the moment, but then when you look at it, it is fun, right?
Yeah.
I have a sewing machine somewhere that has been sitting in a box because I keep intending I'm gonna learn how to do something with this, because I feel like to do costuming you have to be able to do at least a little bit of sewing, but also like just from a practical standpoint, I need to put patches on flight suits, right? And so I need to learn just how to do that, and it keeps like getting lower and lower in the list of things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I've got a couple of things that I'm working on right now. So just for the new Agents Rick project, and so I've got a today I started working on for this audio podcast I'm visually showing. This is still a work in progress, but I got the Thai chest box kit from who are these people? Our Away Creations, and apparently, as I'm working through this, these are the guys who did the chest boxes and a bunch of other things for Rogue One. So the provenance of this chest box is that it was used in Rogue One,
Nice.
or at least the mold was. Not my specific one.
Yeah.
And I'm painting it up to make it look like Agents repurposed it, so it's red, but it's got all sorts of chip marks, right?
Yeah. I didn't. When you posted it in the group, I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but yeah, that's cool.
It's a well. So, spoiler alert, but in the next one, like we're gonna reveal that Agents was an Imperial pilot.
Ooh.
That's been part of his backstory forever. Yeah. But I'm hinting at it by having him wear a Thai chest box, but I think the color of it is going to throw people off just enough. And then when he says it, people go, "Oh, that's a Thai pilot chest box." Okay, so it's kind of been there hiding in plain sight the entire time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but so that's the point behind like this particular piece of his garment, the new garment, the walking through of it, and Far and Away Creations, by the way, did a really good job with this kit. I've had to relearn how to do a lot of the things that I used to know how to do.
Right, same, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, because I haven't done this in a while, because I've been doing other Star Wars related projects. So,
sure.
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what upgrades you do, and because that's something I haven't really wrapped my mind around yet, because I'm like I usually like stamp a cosplay as done with Holoscan, as like, oh, he took a photo of it, like that was what it was, and then like, oh, maybe we'll do that. Yeah, maybe like now where does it go? Is it a new character? Is it a new like outfit for my existing character for Burgundy 8? But yeah, that's something always in the back of my mind, because I also need to figure out like what my cos plans are for Celebration, like what cosplays I'm gonna do there, and like coordinate and or comfortable. One thing I want to do is actually do this podcast, do a Rancor show at Star Wars Celebration, like live. That's my goal. So I'll be applying for that. So if you're watching this and you got this far, please subscribe and like, because it'll help me out. But yeah, like costuming is always in the back of my brain, and even when you were talking about sewing, I have a sewing machine, a very nice one that my mom purchased for me, and my goal is to learn how to like functionally use it, like actually use it this time, because it's been sitting there for maybe a year or two.
Right.
I think it's great to hear all the creative stuff that you're doing, and that's why I wanted to bring you back on this podcast to talk about it. And we have more stuff to talk about that you're working on, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I will bring you back before the year's over, before year's end. You said June, and we'll tease it a little bit. We'll talk about the Dennison book then.
Well, we don't have to tease it. I mean, at time of recording, I decided last night that I can probably release, or at least start pre-orders on or around June 1st of this year.
Nice.
I mean, real quick. So I didn't do one last year because a couple of things, like personal, professional life was very much in flux. I was trying to figure out a lot of things.
Sure.
And not bad. It's just you, like all of us, I just encountered a crossroads, and I had to make some decisions. And so that took up my time for the Denizen book.
Mm-hmm.
Ran out a little bit of Star Wars steam.
Yeah.
With all of that going on. So I'm going to blame it on personal issues. I made a video about it. I've explained it all. Coming back, I've been just kind of trudging through it. My rule was if you sent me everything for the 2025 book, and I don't have to chase you down, you'll be in the 20. I'm calling it the 25-26 book because I don't really right now have the time or bandwidth to chase people.
Sure.
If they wanted to do it, and so I'm just kind of like settling on that. But I think I could release it right now with the amount of stuff that I have.
Yeah.
I'm still working through a couple of pages though. And then I have to actually talk to Di because he asked me if he could look at all the pictures that I was using before I released it, so that way if it was one of his, I could make sure it was annotated properly.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly fine with that, obviously. So there's going to be a couple of obstacles still in the way, but the obstacle is the way. So yeah, on or about June 1st is when I'm looking at being able to open up orders for it.
Nice.
The voting for the charity,
Mm-hmm.
is going on in the Denizen Discord. If you're in it, you can participate. If you're not, you can ask me for a link, and then you can participate in it. We've got 2 front runners. We had 3 submissions and 2 front runners right now.
Okay.
I'm going to bring it up real quick. So the first one is going to be, so the 3 that were submitted were Ronald McDonald House, Trevor Project, and Planned Parenthood. And right now, Ronald McDonald House has 0 votes, Trevor Project has 5, and Planned Parenthood has 4.
Okay.
I voted on every one of them so that way I could get the voting going.
Yeah.
Because there's a way that you have to vote, and I want to make sure that everybody does it correctly. So every number is -1 because I'm not actually voting.
Right. But if it spreads, it all just evens out anyway. So
yeah, as long as I put my name on every single one, then we're good. So right now, Trevor Project is winning, which I think is fantastic for a lot of reasons. But the first one that we did was You Can Play, which is gay sports. So Trevor Project Gay Youth, kind of along the same lines. And then last year, the one we did in 24 was Boulder Crest Foundation, which was for soldiers and other warfighters suffering badly from PTSD, which I think is also important too.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of stuff going on there. But yeah, I'll look forward to talk about it when we finish it and it comes out.
Yeah, because I think I'm definitely not going to sleep on those books. I think they're awesome, even though I'm one of the few that you had to chase down that you couldn't capture. The one thing for me at the time, I just didn't have anything to write for my backstory that I didn't already have for the first book. And then I just kind of burned out on Star Wars, and I wasn't really even thinking about it. And by the time you're like, oh, hey, the book's going to come out. If you got it in, you got in. And I'm like, oh, well, I mean, catch me on the next one, man. I'm sorry. I apologize because I want to be a part of the book, but it's just like, there's just a lot going on for me for writing stuff. But for sure, the next one I'll be ready because I'm really thinking about.
Well, you've got that awesome costume where you have, I think it's the shirt you're wearing right now, but you got the like brown headset or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And the hat. And I remember looking at that. I'm like, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is just a good look right there.
Yeah.
So,
that one is really great. I got a lot of positive feedback on that one. There's ideas behind it. I mean, we'll talk about it now. And that's what part of the little intro, and you're a Rebels fan. So the idea was to take the Voice of Freedom story that Ezra and his parents did, and now Burgundy 8 is going to take the mantle of being the new Voice of Freedom, of doing the transmissions to inspire resistance or rebel actions, and almost podcasting a little bit about it. So kind of tying the character into what I do here and using it for like transmissions in the universe.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in, pull from your own life to fill out your character. We've talked about that the last time, right? I mean,
yeah.
Agents is my life grafted into Star Wars, and it takes a darker turn in Star Wars because Star Wars is a darker universe for now. And so, I love that. I love when people actually like pull those things into from their real life and do that. So that's great.
Yeah. It's like kind of like
you do have a backstory.
Well, but it was like it's just like that line of he's gonna just take over that, but like there's nothing else written. It's more of like it's conceptual right now. But
there you go.
I don't think about it enough to like sit and write something. I need to. it's on my to do, because I was thinking like if he's like his main occupation is not necessarily smuggling, it's just like shipping. And I think about when the truck drivers or whoever they're using, there's those ham radios. It's like, oh yeah, he would actually like maybe have an Imperial one that he's using to do transmissions for resistance stuff, or even like communication with Burgundy Squadron and things like that. So that's kind of where the idea is.
Well,
from.
I mean that has very strong roots in like real world history, right? Because there were the radio operators in France who would listen to the BBC broadcast and be the code breakers, and then return back information to the Allies, right? So there's very, very strong history in that. And then my mind immediately went to, I think it was pirate radio back in the 70s with the Brits, because the BBC was the only one that could have a radio station, and so they actually like bought a ship and they with a radio tower on it, and they parked it off the coast in international waters, and then they just started like casting whatever music
that's
they
cool.
wanted.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. That's sick.
Yeah, I'm not like super up on the history of all that stuff. I think it was called pirate radio, but yeah, I mean that was where my mind went the first time, and then thinking about it more, it's just like, no, this is just like the radio operators in France. So
yeah, I'll have to hit you up for more of that info, because that's something I just like, I don't know anything about that stuff. I was just like, I'd assume it would be like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's where I'm at with my character in right now. But there's just so much stuff to do and talk about in Star Wars always. I mean, we get new shows and we're getting new movies here soon, so yeah, it's going to be a busy rest of the year for me. I want to ask, lastly, where can people find you? I'll definitely put in links to all the stuff we talked about, because like Denizen, is the Denizen Discord open like for people to like join? How does that work?
So right now? You can join. You just need an invite.
Okay.
But there's a way to get a general invite that you can put up there. The more the merrier. It's still fairly active. People are still posting what they're working on, and actually, I mean, it's evolved from just, hey, how do I build a basic costume, to, I mean, somebody posted yesterday, how do I cool my face when I'm wearing a latex alien mask? And like that is such a hyper specific question. It actually is like really nice. And again, it's Eric Fisher's Discord. He started it. I'm just an enthusiastic citizen.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Eshrao on Instagram. Reach out.
Yeah, shout out to Eshrao. Yeah, he really is. He had a kid like a year and a half ago, so he's been busy with baby, now toddler. So
yeah, I know.
But he's doing
a cat or two.
Yeah, and a cat or two. And he's doing a really cool Stormtrooper build now. So good for him.
Yeah. But where can people find you online?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Corellia Star Cosplay, or at Corellia Star Shipyards if you like ships more than costumes. Been posting there on both sides pretty consistently, and then you can find the video, and it's just Corellia Star on YouTube, all one word.
Yeah, definitely. And we talked a lot about Dre too. I think he might be, is it Dre in Motion on Instagram, but then I forgot his YouTube. I'll make sure I put it in the link in the description.
Yeah, I forget his YouTube too, but yeah, you should go check him out.
Yeah, he makes pretty awesome stuff, and his the photography is awesome there as well. He does a lot of cool stuff. We need to get him for this show. I've been asking him in the past, and now I got this thing rolling. But yeah, I want to pick his brain if he wants to be. I'm not gonna force him, but if he wants to be. But
firstly, he's a great conversationalist. But yeah, you've got to have him on this show. He's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of Burgundy still missing that I need to have. But yeah, I'd like to thank Colin again for giving me the time. I appreciate it. Great conversation. I love hearing the BTS behind the Celestial Fire stuff. But I also want to thank everyone who is watching the show, listening to the audio podcast. It actually really helps me out with my goals, and I really just like making content, so I'm not trying to like break YouTube and become famous. It's just having conversations. It's more selfish of me because I'm just trying to talk to my friends and eventually either steal ideas from them, get inspiration from them, and it's gonna be really cool rest of the year for the creative stuff here on the Creator Core podcast. But that being said, I want to wish you all a great rest of your galactic day. Punch it, Chewie. Boom. We're out of here.